So for our first TREC seminar for the spring semester, we're fortunate to have someone from my lab, a visiting scholar, Hafiz Azhar Rasool. Azhar is a visiting lecturer at the University of Agriculture, Faisalabad, and GC University, and has teaches in the BA and master's level courses in consumer behavior, research methodology, international business, marketing, and business ethics. He has published papers on growers, field practices, agricultural marketing systems in Pakistan, agri-food value chains, the end consumer perceptions about fruits and vegetable markets, and comparative analysis of modern traditional cattle markets. He has served in various national and international funded projects, such as with the USDA, ABB, ICAB, and Lions Club. He has served in the industry at the Faisalabad Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and published various study reports on the economy of Pakistan and China, PAC, economic corridor, and agriculture, and the economy of Faisalabad. He has many distinctions, such as merit scholarship from his MS and D throughout his degree, been awarded by the Prime Minister of Pakistan of the Talent Study Students Program in 2016. Serves as a value chain trainer in the Star Farm, Pakistan, and participated on behalf of University of Agriculture, Faisalabad, in the Pakistan Government Forum, organized by the Ministry of Development in Islamabad. So thanks very much. And today, Azhar is going to present on the impact of value chain governments on the potato value chain in Pakistan.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for everyone. Myself, Azhar Rasool, and I am doing my PhD in agribusiness from Agriculture University, Faisalabad, and I am here under the supervision of Dr. Trent to improve the quality of the research. And my area of the research, as Dr. Trent have explained, that formalized value chain governance structures and how it can impact the smallholders, the rural people, and their well-beings. And we will discuss upon the Pakistan's potato industry as a case study of Pakistan.
Yeah. There we go.
Got it.
First, we will briefly describe about the outlines of the agri-food sector. And from then we will transfer towards our discussion from farm to fork, global agribusiness value chains, global agri-food value chain networks, from farm to fork. And then we will discuss about the role of emerging processing and food retailing companies. These are called the multinational corporations also. And next, forward about the triangulation of value chain governance structures and the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and the smallholders' well-being. And finally, how value chain impact in the case study of Pakistan. As everyone knows about the importance of the food. Food is a basic human need. It provides the nutrients to grow, be helpful for active and healthy life. And fiber helps to normalize the body functions. Fruits, vegetables, legumes, and nuts, and are the major sources of these fiber and foods. American Cancer Association have explained that not all foods are equal when it comes to the nutrition. So that's why this was the concept of in previous era in 1970, you can say, the concept of mass production, mass customization, mass consumerization. People and growers and manufacturers produce for everyone. This was called the mass production concept. But day to day, it has been evolved into the customized products, because consumers are awareness, consumers are educated. They demand more product that are nutritional food, that are the good packaging, that are the good quality, as their traits, as their demographic, social, like that. So that we will discuss about from the Maslow theory of the human motivation. He was a good social sociologist, and he gave the theory of pyramids of the human needs. From food is the human psychological needs that we required as a human life well-being. When a person have the buying power, certainly it improves the way of life and in the society, he motivated to change the food preference and the life patterns as well. Buying power is the main important thought that means how a person can improving his money from the different sources of like that from the jobs, businesses. So the educated middle class income, they are the basic emerging consumers, food consumers in the regions, in every region of the world. And they are more concerned what is in their food, like we can see in our daily life as well. They want fresh and nutrients, also they demand the quality in the food, they demand the quantity like that, the different packaging like that, 5 kg, 10 kg, 15 kg, 20 kg, as their demographics, as their family size, as their consumption patterns. Also, they demand the variety, like that the different taste, different color, different fragrance. Also, they have the different ready to cook, ready to eat, because these are the middle class income people. They are between the low and the high ends. And also, but the important factor is the consistency in the food, consistency in the experience. Like if a person, if we go especially for 10 to 15 kilometers and we go for the taste, if we have changed the taste, the next time we will not go and prep to that food. So consistency in the quality and the taste, that is the most important thing, as it was the evolved for the customization, from consume to customization concept. What are the other drivers of the customization? After the World War in 1950, WTO, World Trade Organization, imposed general agreements on trade and traders and minimized the trade barriers among the countries and region to regions. It opened the doors for the foreign direct investment from the developed states toward the underdeveloped states. Also, digitalization and technological change, it significantly impact the food sector. Also, it significantly impact competitive position of the developed state, like we can see as a US agriculture was boosted after that WTO implementations. This is the whole of the scenario we are going to discuss. Farm to fork, it was from supplier, just like a food supplier, food producer, food grower, you can say, food producer. Also, the distributors, who are the village collector, you can say, who are the center level collectors, and distribution towards the manufacturer. These are the manufacturing companies in the sense of agri-food value chains we are discussing, and the wholesalers and the retailers and the customers. And retailers are they are going to retail the end consumers, and the customer, they are the business buyer at the same time, because consumer who are consumes and customers, they purchase for the new process again towards the new product. And there are the three things that are the important that have been floated from these are the product from supplier towards the retail end, and from wholesaler towards the supplier, that is the raw material, and again it's a process. And the information from the retail ends, like that, consumer is always the king of the marketing to the marketing studies, because he gives the directions about their quality, he gives the direction to the producers. Producer produce those things, like we can say, just like organic food. If we want organic food, we demand from the Walmart in the supermarkets, and directly they will arrange those things, especially from the producer level. And also, this is the information from to both way, from producer to convert the consumers, and the next is the finances from the end towards the like consumer is a person is in the market chain, is that he directly pay at the end, and who is the person who directly pay at the cost, who pay for their consumption level, and that price is directly go towards the suppliers, or the food supplier, food producer, or the growers. Next it was the integration of local and global value chains. If we see in this box, this is just like a local food system. There was a local producer, local farm food producers, there was a local franchises like that, a simple fast food center, and also there is a consumption patterns. But when they move towards the global industry, this is called as a agro business, and it was called as the supply chain towards the global value chains. Like that, we are in our basket, in our plate, we can enjoy the fruits from Asia, we can enjoy the tea from the Africa, and this is called the globe. This is basic scenario of the global value chains and their imperfections. Now, basically, the transportation network food system they are become the good multinational corporations like that. The manufacturers, they are the fast food franchises like Pizza Hut, McDonald's. They have strategic alliances in the different countries. They have the expansion of their retail outlets, and they target the middle class consumers because they have the concern, as we have discussed in previous slides, about they are required the demand for the quality, demand for the variety of the products, demand for the good taste and everything. So different retailers like that, the superstores, Walmart, and Tesco, Metro, Chase Up, they have established their own retailing networks in their different regions of the world. But there is a power dynamics in every business. There is a power dynamics in every global food value chain. If we discuss global multinational corporations, brand, non-agricultural brands and agricultural brands established, as we have discussed, throughout the world. And as it has been discussed from the various cited from the previous researchers, and it improved the logistic networks, especially in retailing from fruits and vegetables. Also, Riordan stated that these brands competitors, they are the manufacturers without their factories, like the Walmart. He is the basically without their factories, they are the manufacturers at the same time. You can go, you can demand, and they will provide in the within the very few next days. And at the same time, they are the growers without their field. And also, finally, the global value chain evolved into two types of in the power dynamics. If we see, one is the producer driven, and second is the buyer driven. If we see as point of the producer driven, these are the global capital intensive technology processing industries like Nestle, like IBM, like P&G. They are the good manufacturers, and they are the producer driven power dynamics. And the second is the buyer driven global retailing brand, as we have discussed in multinational corporations. Competitiveness of the multinational corporations, what is that? Multinational companies, as we have discussed, they target the high income consumers. They heavily invest on the advertising to create the positioning. Positioning is the main point in the marketing. Strategic positioning and segmentation, targeting and positioning. These are the three basic parameters of any marketing strategy. When you are going to positioning, that means you are creating value among the customer's mind. In our daily routine life, we can see in the evening advertising on our TV networks. In the evening, they basically in 20 seconds create value in our minds. What type of the product we need to, what type of the quality, what type of the standards we need, and so they also educate the society as well. They provide the processed foods. Multinational companies, they provide the ready to eat, pre-washed, pre-cooked, with attractive packaging, as we have discussed, and ensure the consistency was cited from the Dollar and Humphrey. And gradually, multinational companies evolved a spot market relationship, that is the direct buying and selling in the wholesale market, towards the formal value chain governance structure. This is our main core of discussion. Next, we will discuss on that. Value chain governance, just like as a contractual relationship, how they are not the growers, but they are working as the growers. They are not the producers, but they are the good manufacturers with the suppliers or growers to meet the quality requirements of the middle class income again. What is the value chain governance structure? It's an engagement tool. Different literature has been cited that's emerging. It's a supportive to the expedite the diffusion of the technology. It facilitates the MNCs to develop the stronger strategic alliances. It's a smart partnership of value chain actors. It also strengthening the strategic alliances, and it's important for diffusion of the knowledge to the generation and helps to improve the chain actors' capability, capacity, and market access and their resources constraint. In the next slides, we will see what are the key parameters. Lead actors, like that, the buyers have the power. They are the lead actor in the chain. They set the rules, they enforce the rules, they monitor the rules, what is to be produced, how it's to be produced, and how much is to be produced. The delivery terms, the post-harvest managing practices, how we will have to package, how we have to wash, clean, everything they directed to their producers. This is the typology has been discussed by the Duke University. That is the in global value chain, there is a market structure, there is a modular structure. In market structure, there are a large number of buyers and the sellers, and they agreed upon the prices. And in the modular structure, there is a full package supplier. They are just like as a exporters of the other markets. They purchase from the small growers and to export to other countries. Also in the relational, just like supermarkets, and in captive, this is the processor chains, and in hierarchical chain, just like an integrated firm. Yes, and this is most important in pharmaceutical industries, these type of the chain structures we have seen. What type of the trading relationship, just for the for sake of knowledge, market price based that we have, no formality, modular vegetable supplier, just like in Europe, short-term relationship, but legal contract, deed from direct product design process, as we have discussed the key parameters of chain, and the relational consumer preference. What type of the consumer preference? The collaborative relationship. It's also legal contract and joint planning between buyer and sellers. And also a captive structure is a good example, is a tea planter and the Lay's chips in PepsiCo. They are the basically direct leading in the potato value chain in Pakistan. And they have the asymmetric power-based dependency contractual relationship. And they also change electronic database like that WhatsApp through different Zoom meetings. They directed their requirements to the producers. What is the sustainable development goals and the global sustainability drive? Sustainable development requires the integration practices in all the businesses, and these practices are essential to perform to traditional agriculture towards the modern agriculture. We are striving for the sustainable development. Like that, we need economic performance, good profitability of the growers, post-harvest loss in the food product. Like in case of Pakistan, we have around 32% fruits and vegetable post-harvest losses. Also in global value chains, around 20% we have the post-harvest losses. In the social contribution, we need also a good contribution like that. We need more jobs, we need equal employment opportunities at the same time for the male and female. We need child restriction, labor, also environmental sustainability like the irrigation methods. We need to improve the irrigation methods. We need to minimize the resources utilization like that, the chemicals, everything. And also soil degradation. For the next coming generation, we have to say this is the basic part of sustainable development goal that was given by the UNDP. Agent to sustainability drive. These all the theories have proved that value chain governance structures, that is our main subject of the area, is improve the coordination structures. It integrate the chain activities, minimize the cost, increase the profitability. It ensure grower access to market information, their transport, storage. It also provide the good resources and affect the quality of the price, also the product quality, and it ensure the consistency in the product experience, as we have already discussed. It address the bottlenecks and strengthening market links and foster the sustainable development goals of the UNDP. Role of growers for these sustainable development goals, because grower is the main because our main subject of the respondent, and we collect the data from, and we also have considered to the grower sustainable performance under the value chain governance. So agriculture is emerging under the concept of sustainable development, and growers aligned relationship like that, a contractual relationship with the buyer can reduce the post-harvest losses, can affect their social contribution, and it also impact their performance, economic and environmental performance. And sustainable performance of grower is strengthen the economic development also, especially for the agro-based economies like that Pakistan, Vietnam, India, Bangladesh. They are dependent upon their agriculture. If they improve their agricultural practices, reduce their post-harvest losses, improve the well-being of the society, like the rural people, rural community, we can be good in food security. We can be good in the reduction of the poverty as well, as because we provide the good job with good wages of minimum, and it achieve towards the sustainable development goals. What are the agri-food value chains in developing countries? A case of Pakistan. Like mostly market intermediaries has an influence with other several structural issues like the resources constraints, poor market orientation, low competency in the growers, weak coordination structures among the value chain actors, and the poor enforcement of quality and the standards. Also, traditional production and marketing practices, unequal returns to the chain actors, especially the growers, who only earn the 15% from the consumers' dollars. And also, poor value chain governance is believed to be the main reason for the inefficiency and suboptimal performance in these agri-food value chains, like in Pakistan. What is the agri-food value chain structures in Pakistan, especially smallholder, the same in lacking in education, training, and relationship are not consistent, and their value chains are fragmented, poorly coordinated, and especially the small land holding are facing the challenges to meet the competitive market requirements, means a good quality of the requirements from the exporter, the supermarkets, and they are not able at the same time to produce at their level and to transfer their produce to those good customers. And also economically inefficient due to the presence of large number of market intermediaries and poor price information system and inadequate infrastructure like the roads and everything at the wholesale markets issues. What is the growth indicator? Just these are the for your understanding. We have GDP growth around 5.97%, agricultural growth last year 4.4%, and it has been declined from it was 44% in 1947, now almost is 22%. And industrial problems, and due to these type of different structural issues and barriers, Pakistan declined in the agricultural sector. And the growth in exports, these are the different indicators. But who are the main players in Pakistan's agri-food value chains? Private firms mostly handle the agri-food sector, while the public sector is limited towards the research and development, regulations, and the extension advices. And the major farm input companies are these, and the major processing companies are these companies, food processing companies. Now we will discuss about the agri-food marketing structure. It's just like other countries, like the rural consumer, he buy from the producer, roadside village markets, and the collector village, and next it towards the trader, and trader towards the wholesale markets, and wholesale towards the retail markets. These are the different retail markets. Pakistan also this time has the supermarket concept, like the big supermarketing companies also striving, have their almost less than 10% share in the market. Now, the commodity of the discussion is potato market analysis. Potato is an exportable vegetable, cheapest source of carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, and proteins. It ranked third after the wheat and rice, widely consumed and in various forms such as the cooked form, boiled form, fresh chips and breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and mainly export to Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, and Dubai. And these are the different area production and the export statistics. What are the problem statement? Why we are going towards this project value chain governance structures and the sustainability of sustainable performance of the growers? The prevailing literature on fruits and vegetable production aspects like agronomic, breeding, and genetics, and economics and consumer preference are available. But very few studies investigated the agri-food value chain marketing system, their margins, consumer preference, and the post-harvest losses. And specifically, the value chain governance towards the economic performance. This has been done in Turkey. This has been done, I think, in Vietnam. They have established the theories. But there is a need to understand the impact of value chain governance structures on the smallholders' well-being and the sustainable performance. Only market-based, governance-based, like contractual relationship of the smallholder can overcome their bottlenecks, as we have discussed. The objective of the study was to understand first the governance structure, second, how they impact the influencing the growers to choose the structure, and their level of empowerment under each structure, their satisfaction with their trading relationships, and to finally to determine their economic, social, and environmental performance under the different operating governance structures. This was the conceptual framework. These four structures have been identified in Pakistan: spot, modular, relational, and captive. These are the sustainable performance dimensions: economic cost of production we have measured, yield we measured, revenue, profitability per acre, return over investment ratio per acre, and the social contribution. What are the number of employed farm workers at each farm household, the level of the equal employment opportunities, like that the male female ratio, and their wages rate per day, and the training, number of training per year, how much a grower are going to organize the number of trainings, because if farmer or their worker will be well trained, because in agriculture every time we need post harvest management practices. If the farm level labor will not be good in skill, they contribute towards the post harvest losses percentage. So how much they are going to welfare arrangements. Welfare arrangement mean near to farm the daycare facility for the female worker, pick and drop facility at the same time, social empowerment at the same time. These are the different welfare arrangements. Also, the environmental sustainability, resources use, chemical use, post-harvest losses percentage. Also, we compare in these four levels their waste management practices and the good agricultural practices adopted have been done by them. What was the methodology to collect the data? This is the overall scenario of Pakistan, and in the green, this is the Punjab. It has been around 86% of potato production, and we have taken this to Okada and Sahiwal in multi-stages. We have adapted. At the first stage, we done a focus group discussion with the growers, Pakistan Growers Association, and to understand what type of the different structures in potato industry. In the second stage, in-depth interviews from the 30 potato growers, and it was a purposive sampling technique to explore the nature of the trading relationship under each value chain governance structures. And thirdly, we have a questionnaire-based field survey done, and it was from the 300 respondents to explore their motives to select a value chain governance structures, their level of empowerment, satisfaction, and to measure or compare their sustainable dimension measures. These are the four structures: market, modular, and relational and captive. And grower buyer trading relationship are in four dimensions we have explored. One is grower buyer driven chains. Large and capital abundant growers have the formal links with the supermarket chains like Metro, Chase Up, and for the fresh fruits and vegetable. These are the super chain markets. And there is a producer level driven chains. Grower formally aligned with the dominant full package suppliers. He is further linked with the metropolitan fruits and vegetable wholesale markets and exporters, and also bilateral oligopolies, smallholders vertically integrated and have a legal or contractual relationship with the food processor. This is the PepsiCo. This one is the multinational company. This wants the consistency in each bite of the piece of the chips level in the consumer plate. And so that to meet these requirements, they have the contractual relationship with the growers. They directed them what is to produce, how is to produce, and how much to produce. They also provide them the resources. They provide them the seed. They provide them the packaging. They provide them the transport. They provide them the farm level trainings. And the traditional markets, this one is the very important, very common, large number of the smallholders selling in the nearest fruits and vegetable collection center. It's a very common in every country. This one is the main core of the thought that grower economic performance measured for the cost of production. It has been measured, compared in spot market, modular, and relational in captive. And we found that its cost of production in the captive structure, it's the highest cost of production because they mostly lead actor directed them the quality and branded type of the farm input. And that's why these are the cost of production is high. But the yield level, if we will compare the captive structure, the contractual relationship growers have their 0.1 million tons per acre their yield level, as it's the highest rate as compared to the other structures. Their revenue also higher because their profitability per kg, it's for the 17 rupees in Pakistan. And also return of investment ratio, this one is the 0.18. That means if they are using one rupees, one unit of the resource, and they are going to produce the outcome 0.18, and it's higher than two other structures. And if we
Question, sorry, so the red, is that significantly different? Is that-
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
at what level?
at their individual level
Okay.
with the others. Yes.
Here, Dr. Azhar, here, who are the growers and who are the buyers?
Different, basically, these are the different buyers.
I know buyers who, like here buyers, different kind of buyers are here too.
Yes.
So in Pakistan and other countries, who really, these are the store people, or in between buyer, producer, and this store, there is another group. They buy things from the growers and take it to the market and sell to another grower. So it's changing hands. And
Yes.
these are,
Yes.
so whatever profit comes, grower doesn't get that profit.
Yes, yes. That's why this is the structure. I'm going to back this slide. Sorry, this one. These are the different buyers in the structures. This one is the market. There are small number of growers and as well as the customers, different customers. Like that, in case of here, we can see a grower, just like we are grower, and a person is the other is the buyer. A person is the buyer who can be from supermarkets, a person from this exporter, a person can be at the same time from the wholesale market, a person can be at the same time from the processor. At the same time, processor will give the different price to the grower. At the same time, supermarket, because they have their own market share, they will give them the different prices because they need a good quality of the food at the shelf. So that's why we are basically grower-buyer relationship that defines the value chain to other structures. And different buyers is the market dynamics. If a buyer can source the good quality of the good prices he wants, then he has to focus to good buyer, and he will give them the good prices, but he enforce them the good quality parameters. This is the main.
Yeah, but I think Doc's pointing out, when you go back, he's comparing the captive one, which is contract.
Yeah, this one is the
Multinational company, right?
food processing companies.
It's like what, Pepsi Cola?
Yeah, Pepsi Cola, yes.
The big one, versus the market one is like the intermediaries, right? This one.
Here is the price. Here is the full package supplier, is a relational supplier. This one is the exporter at the same time. This one is a supermarket buyer, and this one is the processor. Processor cannot be worry about. He was very focused about the quality of the raw product. If it will not be there according to their requirement, he cannot be able to provide the good quality of at the retailer. So that's why they are very conscious about the quality of the product at the purchasing time.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned the PepsiCo and all this stuff. They want a very specific kind of produce for their companies, so they can provide specific kind of chips or whatever the end product is.
Yes.
So what about the stresses, like abiotic stresses? If the farmer is growing, if some stress is there, and you can't predict the crop, how the crop is going to be.
Excellent question. I will explain. In the form of the contractual relationship, a good buyer, because he concerned about the quality of the product, like Pepsi, we have discussed as a case study. They also have their own interns, agri graduates in the field workers.
No.
They are going to check the quality of the produce in the fields. They are also going to check the agronomical assistance to provide the agronomical assistance to the grower level. And because they also provide their seed on.
No, that is okay. That is perfect. But my point is, like, if there is stress and the crop cannot be always the same.
Okay.
Crop cannot be always the same. And if there is crop loss or something.
Stress, what type of?
Like abiotic stress, some fungal pathogen or some.
This is the responsibility of the buyer at the same time.
No, the same practice was also employed in India.
Yes, I know. Yes.
In the same a few years back.
Yes.
But like they implemented this condition, and there was a contract with the company and the farmer. But when there was stress or something like that, the company told we can't buy this product.
This is our policy advice already I have given in my paper. that it should be insured from the third company.
Yeah, that
Insurance, yes. It's the final discussion, not have been included this time, because it should be insured from the third party, because when the prices in the COVID scenario, we were discussing Pakistan, COVID scenario, the international trade were stopped at the same time due to the international barriers. So in the market, we have around 400 million metric ton about the potato. And but that time produce were abundant and the price war goes towards the down. And the buyer that time at the same fixed price in the contractual, he was reluctant. So that's why the grower at the same time have the some sort of issues.
Yeah.
And the solution is that to insure from the third party. Yes, it should be insured and to legalize the contract under the public-private partnership. Yes. Yes, this is the social performance indicators. And the employment, if we measure the family labor in the different, it's around 1.9, it's not common, and employment average 7.9 number of farm workers were employed at the captive structures, and they are going to at the same time good wages rate. Around this one is the figure, it's above 20,000, that is the minimum level wage rate. And it has been the 0% in spot market, it has been the 0% in modular, in the 15% in relational, but 81% at the captive growers farms. And at the same time, the equal employment opportunities better, like the 44% female farm workers, they are working at the captive farms, but in the sense of child labor, they also have 7.9%, but it's a minimum level because in the potato harvesting, as I have shared the picture also, in the potato harvesting, the family labor is involved at the same time. Like that, the two families, they at the same time given the contract from the grower, and they collect the produce and pack into the packages, so that their number of children also involved at the same time, but not in the sense of specially to hire the child laborers and to pay them the below average prices. And they also have the arranged number of trainings in the sense of captive structure, minimum one training per year they have arranged, but in other, this is the highest as comparison. Also the labor safety, like the safety tools, equipments, workplace in violence mitigation, safety during the pesticide sprays, peat and safety, also the female harassment case. These are the 70 above than all the situation they have controlled, and they have the measures, and they have the concern about their female farm workers and others farm workers. In the sense of labor welfare arrangements, about they provide the transportation 100%, they provide the toilets like that, the restroom near the farms, also child caring for the female workers 88%, and it's the highest than the others. Also child scholarship in the sense of social contribution. They also providing the judicial support, also the medical assistance in case of. These are the different positive indicators in the captive structure.
I want to ask you a question there's before, whoops. How many women were included in your sample? Was it men saying that women aren't harassed, or do you have women growers or women employees that you asked as well?
As I have discussed that normally a female family who own over the family are engaged at the same time. In very rare cases, female farm worker that engage, so that's why you can say they also have concerned there about the female harassment cases.
But did you ask women themselves?
No,
Separately,
no, because our study focused was the growers and what type of because in these situations, the contractual buyer, PepsiCo, they have the given contract guidelines about these things under the sustainable development goals, because they are at the same time in the global retailing multinational company, and UNDP also focusing these type of initiatives to all the multinational companies. They imposed these things to their growers, so that's why they ensure, they also verify and monitor some sort. They also have their own agri graduates. They also hired the third party to check and monitor the at farm level their practices.
The whole everything is controlled.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everything is controlled. There is no woman nobody from woman's side interview women. Mainly men interview them. And those men are also trained by the company. So company will say, ask them this question.
No, when we target the growers, and 100% were the growers are male respondents.
So that's
That's the point.
That's
Yes.
the point.
Yes, there's a male dominancy in the in
That
our.
is the issue.
Yes.
Yeah, but what
And
the
we
men
are-
say about women?
This is the question about the farm workers, not the growers.
No, your pattern is Dr. Trent, he's like these policies are like like implemented by the MNCs,
Right.
and whatever other structures are there, these policies are not implemented there. That's the point, I think.
Yeah, we have the comparison about these things. We have taken all these things from the different studies. And when we reviewed the literature and see that these are the sustainable and social economic performance measures, and we compare, already these have been studies different in different other sectors, you can say. Like the textile sector, they also focus these type of things. When Nike is going to purchase from the textile sector and they impose these things, they check their even the restrooms. How much you are going to concerned about their
That's
people?
what I'm saying.
Right.
That's why.
Regulations are implemented
Yes,
by the
yes.
companies.
But in these structures, these are no concern because no one is going to check.
Please don't take any offense.
Yeah.
This is happening in United States too, all over the world.
Yes.
Yesterday was the Women Day, and they are talking about every country's women are mistreated, they are underprivileged, they don't get their right. That is the bottom line. We say that hey, women are demographically women and men, that is company, good company. No, there is no company. Women are not getting that.
Yes, that's a
Kind of.
good point. If
Right.
we can study about the perception from the female farm workers.
Right, it can be for another
Yes,
step in
yes.
the
It
research.
can be
That's
for-
what I
Yeah,
was-
no, that's some
Yes,
idea. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's
good idea. Thank you. These are the environmental performance indicators where judicious use of resources like that micro, macronutrients, fertilizer, DAP and other things, and a number of irrigations and diesel in liter. And we see that diesel in liter were the highest in the liters at the captive because they use all the mechanized systems. So that's why their cost of production also we have mentioned in their cost of production is higher. So their micronutrients bags were the 9.9 they also affect their cost of production and frequency of the chemicals. This is very good and significant measure that it's the lowest level with the other comparison. They use without, they don't use without any hazard chemical, and also the company agronomical mobile lab is provide the facility to the growers at the field level. And they check the consistency in the quality, they check their leaf, they check the agronomical, I don't know because it's not my area, but they farm level, I have witnessed that they provide them the facility for the field water and other things like that. Because if they will not be able to produce that quantity, because the quantity is the requirement of the food processing at the time of when it's running environment. So that's why they also concerned about the quality and consistency.
Like there is another food problem, like these how farmers implement these things. Like
Yes.
company do provide, like government sometimes do provide many policies, but they don't reach the farmers, or
Yes.
farmers don't
Yes.
implement these kind of policies.
That's the actual problem.
Yeah.
It's two-way joint observation in that we have seen in captive structure. They also take, when they are going to implement any policy, they have the grower session. They meet them, they also discuss their issues every year, every session. They also change their policies because grower is the main manufacturer of their, without the factory, they are producing the things.
But the problem is still the same.
And the 101% I'm agreed with you that grower at the risk level, environmental risk at the same time, market risk at the same time, but up to some extent they fix the market risk with the fixing the prices. Before going to grow in the field, they fix the price of the per kg produced prices. And also waste management practice, 82% they have arrangements, waste management like that on the bags, on the chemicals, waste materials also. and adaptive good agricultural practices in the sense of solar tube wells, sprinkling irrigation system and everything. And significance of the study, what was the thought, theory, practice, and the policy have been from the discussion. Value chain governance structure, as we have discussed, is an agent to sustainable development, and the integration of value chain governance structure theory with the sustainable development will be a major theoretical contribution of the study. And the practices, as we have discussed, the available literature on value chain is at initial level, but specifically on the value chain governance is not, will ensure administrative assistance to the agri-food stakeholders in the developing countries. And also at the policy level, on the above findings, the study suggests to public-private agri-food value chain stakeholders to promote the culture of the farmer, harmonize that contractual-based relationship with the growers, and foster the microeconomic reforms in the food markets, removal of the subsidies that is the huge burden on the developing countries, and input subsidies you can see in their country also, and which will not only the agent to the economic development, also impact to the sustainable development initiatives. A way forward, how the smallholders become the part of the value chain, global value chain governance. This is the final lesson from this whole discussion. There are the from the fragmented markets, a traditional mid-market, intermediary, and the price level. If we are going towards the to the producer level change, and there is also a buyer level change, as we have discussed the power dynamics in the different structures, and there is a contractual relationship with the private companies. These are the three different scenarios for the growers. If they are going towards the processing companies, they need to become the part of the producer driven change. If they are at the retail ends in the farm fresh level, so they have to concern with the buyers driven change. And also there is a medium way of joint planning, contractual relationship that minimize their cost of production, reduce their post-harvest losses, improve their profits, and also affect their market and uncertainty risk. That is the grower main concern. This was the thought from me. So, thank you for everyone.